What's up guys, it's Adam here, aka Cena Guy. Time for your WWE Night of Champions 2025 review. I know I said in the past that I was taking a break from wrestling. Well, I decided to catch up today. You know, find out what's happening in the WWE. I know loads of things have happened leading up to this pay-per-view, like Liv Morgan getting injured, injuring her shoulder, Dom getting injured, and loads of things happening. But I just decided to watch it moments ago with a couple of friends, and this pay-per-view was kind of meh, you know, for my liking. I mean, to tell you the truth, some of the outcomes in this pay-per-view were like a little disappointing. I kind of wished a little bit more would happen, you know, particularly like in the main event. Well, the only thing that was good about the main event was like all the outside interferences and everything, but I'll get to the main event in just a moment. I'm going to go through each match one by one and tell you what I generally think. Okay, the first match, Cody Rhodes defeated Randy Orton to be the king of the ring, and he'll face whoever the champion is at SummerSlam. To tell you the truth, the match was fine. It was fine. I mean, the ending was a bit fucked up, you know, with Cody Rhodes getting a pinfall over Randy Orton because Randy Orton went outside to get a steel chair, and then the referee took it off him and exposed the turnbuckle. And the ending, Randy Orton like went ribs first into like the exposed turnbuckle, and he was like, ah, you know, over exaggerating the pain. And then Cody Rhodes did his finisher to Randy Orton and won. The match itself was a bit slow, but it wasn't like the worst match I ever saw. To tell you the truth, the crowd seemed like they was having like overjoyment of fun while this was happening, you know, singing the entrance themes and doing the ole, 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 you know. And in my opinion, when they're doing things like that, you know, something wrong is happening in the ring, you know what I mean? When the audience starts throwing around beach balls and singing, doing the wave and all that kind of thing, you know, something's wrong. But I don't remember anything exciting happening during this match. I mean, there was no over-the-top finishes. There was a few false finishes, but they were kind of to be expected. And the ending was could have been better. I mean, I think the whole crowd wanted Randy Orton to win. You know, I mean, I like Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes equally, but Cody Rhodes getting the victory now that he's got a match at SummerSlam is now in the works, you know. But you know, he stands there with the crown, trying to suck up to the crowd and all that kind of thing, and it was fine, but finisher could have been better. That's all I'm saying. And in the second match, Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez by pinfall in a street fight. This was like a 14-minute long street fight. To tell you the truth, Rhea Ripley looked like Catwoman in this fucking match, or something out of a bondage sex movie, you know. The Saudi Arabia crowd, you know, women are not allowed to show any skin. So what should we do instead? We'll have Rhea Ripley coming out looking like she's in bondage gear from a porn. What the fuck is wrong with Saudi Arabia, man? Match itself was hard hitting. You know, Rhea Ripley was tangled up in the rope. She took a few shots with a kendo stick to the ribs. There was outside interference, you know, and Rhea Ripley kicked her in the face with a trash can on. And again, the ending was weird. I mean, Rhea Ripley did a finisher to Raquel Rodriguez. There was like a table positioned in the corner. The referee was holding onto the table to make sure it didn't slip or break. And then Rhea Ripley did a finisher off the table into the ring and pinned her and won the match. You know, it was a fine match, not bad for a women's street fight. You know, there was a couple of hard hitting moments. It wasn't the best women's street fight of all time, but it wasn't the worst either. It was just there, and it was kind of meh. But I don't know what to make of Rhea Ripley and what she was wearing in this match. I mean, first I thought, oh, she looks like Catwoman, and then the second thing, she's something out of a porn video, you know. wearing bondage gear, you know. She was even using a whip in this match, you know. She took a belt off with that, she had these metal studs on, and she was whipping Raquel Rodriguez with this whip of a belt. So I don't know what to make of it. So far we have 2 matches that have happened, and they're mediocre matches, but the finishes were all weird, you know. Next match, Sami Zayn defeated Karrion Kross by pinfall. Honestly, I thought this shit was boring, you know. I mean, they're making Karrion Kross look bad so far. I mean, I'm not the biggest Sami Zayn fan. I admit the guy's tough, but he doesn't really excite me that much. You know, there was a backstage segment where Karrion Kross was stirring things with Sami Zayn, saying, "You will never be a world champion." And Sami Zayn punched Karrion Kross, and he was laughing. And there was a lot of talking in this match as well. Karrion Kross was like, "You will never be world champion," you know, and all that kind of thing. And it was kind of like a basic finish. I mean, it would have made more sense if Karrion Kross would have had a victory over Sami Zayn. I mean, I think the wrong guy won here. But the match was just boring. I mean, there was some sleeper holds, but again, from Sami Zayn, I was expecting something much more better to happen. You know, even though I'm not a big fan of him, I know he pulls off some impressive stuff here and then, but this match really nothing happened, and the wrong guy won, in my opinion. You know, Karrion Kross, he's new to all this, and he's been pushed as a rising star on other screens, and here at the pay-per-view he just loses just like this. I mean, why? I don't fucking get it. And the 4th match, Solo Sikoa defeated Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Match was fine, you know. Most of the match it was Solo saying, "I loved you, I loved you, you're a liar, you're a liar, I loved you." Most of the time it was just Solo Sikoa saying, Solo saying "I love you" all the time, and putting Jacob in sleeper holds and things like that. Jacob Fatu did some impressive moves over the top rope when there was some outside interference. I can't remember the people's names who interfered in this match, but there was one guy that returns that we haven't seen since War Games, and was a 7-foot tall guy who wrestled a dark match on SmackDown, I believe, and now apparently he's joined Solo. But there was a lot of cheating, a lot of outside interference, and Solo won the match, you know, which was kind of disappointing because I like Jacob Fatu. I really do hope they push this guy to major heights, you know, the Samoan Werewolf. You know, he's a great guy, he's a great wrestler, and Solo's a good heel, I admit that, but he doesn't really get me that pumped, you know what I mean. But I suppose if Jacob Fatu was to lose the US title, I suppose it does make sense he would lose to Solo. I suppose it would make sense since it's all during the bloodline kind of feud and all that kind of thing, and family feuding. So I suppose there was no other better way for him to lose it, but again, disappointed that he did lose the US title because I'm a big fan of Jacob Fatu. He's one of my favourite wrestlers on the roster right at the moment. So, and this next match had to be the worst match of the whole fucking night. Jade Cargill defeated Asuka to win the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she's now in a match at SmackDown's SummerSlam for the title. It was a terrible match. I mean, it went on. Everyone wanted Asuka to win, and she deserves to win, Asuka. I think she's the better wrestler. I've got a lot of respect for her. And again, the finish was fucked up, man. I mean, the wrong person won. Asuka should have won, but Jade Cargill won, which made all the fans in the crowd pissed. There was booing Jade, and I could understand why after the way this match finished, because she did a finisher to like Asuka. I'm not sure if it was like a fucked up finish and a botch, because she like hit her finisher very slowly with less impact, and then she like pulled Asuka's leg up all the way back. And I'm not even sure if Asuka's shoulders were even properly on the floor when this count happened, but she won Queen of the Ring, and she was there kissing ass to the crowd, like saying things like, "No matter who boos you, you rise above it," and all this kind of shit. Like the same thing that's happening with John Cena, basically. So Jade was sucking up because everyone boos her and all that kind of thing, and now people were booing her heavily tonight. So I can understand why after that performance. It was a shit match. It was the shittest match on the card. I don't know what's up with all the finishes tonight. Randy Orton's match finished weird. Rhea Ripley's match finished weird. And then this match was even more fucked up because it was like a botch ending. You know what I mean? And in the main event, John Cena defeated CM Punk to retain the undisputed WWE Championship. And this was like a half an hour long match. The match itself wasn't that good. I mean, there was some false finishes with to be expected. To tell you the truth, the only entertaining part of this match was the ending. You know, when all the outside interferences were happening. John Cena was going to use the WWE title to hit CM Punk, but he changed his mind and threw it away, and the referee ended up getting knocked down. I suppose the most highlight part of this match was Charles Robinson getting knocked down by John Cena, because Charles Robinson was taking like a long sprint to the ring like he did at that WrestleMania, and then John Cena like knocked Charles Robinson and he went fucking flying. That part was funny. And I have to admit that was probably the best part of the whole match, because we also had interference from Pentagon. We had inside interference by Seth Rollins, because when CM Punk was waving for the referee to come down, Seth Rollins came out instead. Looked as though he was going to cash in, but screwed Punk once again. You know, it was fine. It felt like they overdid the outside interference in this one. You know, but it was entertaining, don't get me wrong. It was more better than the match. The match didn't really interest me. John Cena and CM Punk, they've had classic matches in the past, but this one I have to admit was kind of boring. I mean, Cena did show some strength, you know, when Punk jumped off the top turnbuckle and Cena lifted him up, tossed him on his shoulders and did the AA and all that kind of thing. I mean, the match was boring. I mean, it wasn't like a terrible, out of control, all over the place match. It was just like a plain match, but the ending was the only thing that really that was entertaining. You can tell Cena's had enough now. You can really tell he just wants to get this retirement tour over and done with, because the guy can't do it no more. You know what I mean? And then Seth Rollins hits CM Punk with the briefcase, does the curb stomp. Cena throws Seth Rollins out the ring and he pins CM Punk. And then that's your pay-per-view. So overall, it was kind of suckish, this pay-per-view. I'll just go through it all one last time. The Rosa Randy Orton match was like a plain match, and Randy Orton overdid the rib injury to the exposed turnbuckle. Oh, I'm gonna getting crossroads. Rhea Ripley looked like the fucking bondage Catwoman out of a sex porn video, you know. I did a weird finisher off the table with help from the referee, because he was holding the table to make sure it didn't break. Sami Zayn vs Karrion Kross was boring, and the wrong guy won. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, in my opinion, should have retained, but the wrong guy won. Jade and Asuka was the worst match of the night with the fucked up ending, and John Cena CM Punk was like a plain, basic, normal match, but all the acting and the drama from the outside interference saved the match, and that was the only best part about the match. So it's sad to say that the outside interference action was more entertaining than the match itself. So we can say this pay-per-view was kind of suckish, really. It was a bit you know, could have been better. You know, some people in the crowd were really disappointed with the outcomes, especially when Jade pinned Asuka, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know, I'm giving this shit like a 4, maybe nearly a 5 out of 10. I don't know, not much more than that, and that's being generous. I mean, wasn't an atrocious pay-per-view. I've seen more worse pay-per-views, but towards the end I was yawning, and I was, you know, coming in and out of a coma towards the end. You know, I kept on leaving the TV to go and make coffee, you know what I mean? So it's definitely not a pay-per-view I'll rewatch again, you know. So that's all I want to say. I mean, I still like to hear your thoughts, everyone. What did you think about this pay-per-view? Do you agree with me? Do you not? I'd love to hear your comments. Please leave them in the section below. Thanks, everyone. Peace out.